Well, welcome back, wrestling fans, and I'm here today to go over TLC 2019 review. This pay-per-view, I gotta say, right out of the gate, uh, it was okay. It wasn't great, though. I wouldn't say it was great at all. It was downright fucking boring after a certain point. And it just got worse and worse and worse as things went on until the main event with the tables, ladders, and chairs for the women's tag team title match. Bray Wyatt and The Miz was pretty interesting at best, I guess. Very short match, man. Nothing much to speak of this pay-per-view. I mean, there was some good things about it, but overall, as a pay-per-view, it could have been just something of a highlighted awesome Raw episode or something of that kind of nature, because this show did not feel like a pay-per-view. It did at first, and then it just kind of dropped. I didn't particularly care about the Raw tag team titles. There was a lot of tag team wrestling, which is good. We haven't seen a lot of tag team wrestling at all, which needs to start getting some kind of push, maybe even as main event opportunities for other tag team divisions in the WWE roster. But I'll tell you, this show was not the greatest in the world. So that's just me. I don't know how other people felt about the show. I mean, I did hear some people cheering for this event. But overall, I didn't think it was the greatest show in the world. I don't think it was something that you had to go out of your way to go see. Now, I mean, if you care about wrestling and you're a hardcore wrestling fan like myself, you're not going to mind watching this, but if I missed it, I don't think I would have cried over it. I could always watch it later on or something, but since I like to do these reviews and I want to continue to have this channel grow, I am providing these reviews as much as I possibly can based on my schedule. So I went ahead, I took a look at this show, and here's my thoughts. I'm just going to go one by one with every matchup, give you the star ratings from 1 to 5, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best, and giving you my 3 awards to the pay-per-view, 1 being Moment of the Night, Spot of the Night, and Match of the Night. So, New Day with Big E and Kofi Kingston defending the tag team titles for SmackDown against the Revival in a ladder match. This was a great way to kick off the show. I thought this matchup was fantastic, very fun to watch. Good action overall. I am giving this a 4 out of 5 stars. Easy, with no fucking problem at all. Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy. I gotta say, Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy, even Buddy Murphy in defeat looked better than Cesaro did earlier this year. And Aleister Black, he's got something I think could bring something to the table at WrestleMania. And hear me out. This is just fantasy booking, and I did buy tickets to go see WrestleMania 36 as well as NXT TakeOver. So I will be watching both of these shows. I don't know if I'm going to be able to provide you guys the review on the show because I want to go back on both shows and watch them on the WWE Network to see how it was as watching it live on television. So I'm going to go back and watch those as well. So I probably won't be delivering a review on both of those shows till later on during the week. So please be patient with those 2 reviews. Once I get to them, I will definitely go ahead and upload them for you to give you my thoughts. But this matchup, again, like Aleister Black, Buddy Murphy was an awesome matchup. My feelings, though, that Aleister Black's match that he should do, that I think would be a great idea, I think Aleister Black should go one-on-one with The Undertaker at WrestleMania. I think that would be a fucking great idea because Aleister Black's whole gimmick, and it's a real weirded out gimmick, is he wants someone to knock on his door and pick a fight with him. Well, wouldn't it be funny if we supposedly got a knock at Aleister Black's door? Aleister Black opens the door, and there's a shovel laying in front of his door, but no one was there. He tries to discover what the shovel was there for. And as time goes on and on and on, I don't know how all the details of how I would do it, but I will try to think of it and then upload a video on that, because I'd like to give you guys my fantasy card for WrestleMania 36 that I would book. That's realistic and something that could happen. For a random wrestling talk or something like that, and give you guys just how I would kind of build towards them. But this would be a very easy thing to do. Have Undertaker knock at his door. There's a shovel sitting in front of his door. Goes ahead and tries to figure out what the fuck the point of the shovel was sitting by his door. And he discovers it's the Undertaker who wants to face him at WrestleMania 36. You could also have, leading up to it, Aleister Black beating a bunch of different opponents with weeks upon weeks through the Royal Rumble all the way up to WrestleMania. And then by after NXT TakeOver Portland, you go ahead and you issue that challenge by The Undertaker with the whole shovel in front of his doorstep thing. He then discovers it's actually The Undertaker who left that shovel. And he's going to bury him alive at WrestleMania, making him rest in peace, being one of Undertaker's victims at WrestleMania. I think that would be a fucking cool match. It definitely would give Aleister Black a great rub. I think Aleister Black could bring The Undertaker to a decent match where he won't look ridiculous. And I think at the end of the day, make Undertaker beat Aleister Black. I think that would be the best thing for them to do. This matchup, just going into it, Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy, was 3.5 out of 5 stars. Very solid, okay matchup. I didn't have any beef with it. The match flowed very decently. The crowd was dead, though. They really did not seem to care about the match, which I don't understand why the fuck they didn't care. This match was really decent. Especially for a one-on-one match that had no special stipulation to it. One of the better matches that you won't see on Monday Night Raw even. Aleister Black has been beating fucking enhancement talent left and right until Buddy Murphy came along and had a 13-minute match. It was 13 minutes and 45 seconds, which I gotten off of Wikipedia. I will say that is a decent amount of time to produce a good match, and they did that. They did a fantastic job doing that. So kudos to them for that. The Viking Raiders and the OC for the Raw Tag Team titles did not give a flying fuck about this matchup. I'm giving it a 1.5 out of 5 stars. Didn't mean nothing. The OC lost, didn't even lose. Ended up being a double count out, which, what a fucking complete failure on this. The matchup sucked. The whole overall presentation of the match sucked. It was very predictable who was facing the Viking Raiders. I would have went with the Mustache Mountain tag team with Trent, Steven and Seven and Tyler Bate. That is what I would have went with for that tag team matchup from the NXT UK facing the Viking Raiders. I think that would have been fucking cool as shit to see happen. Now, unless I'm not knowledgeable about this, and I don't know this, unless somebody from Mustache Mountain is injured, I don't see why that wouldn't have worked. Unless they didn't have the, passports and the ability to come from one country to another. If that's the case, then okay, fine. That made sense for them not to be able to go with this, but they have the capability of doing that, and they didn't go with it. They're fucking idiots. That's all I have to say on that. OC Viking Raiders, 1.5 out of 5 stars. Shitty fucking match. Didn't really care for it. I went ahead and grabbed a bite to eat, and then didn't watch hardly any of this fucking matchup. It was a joke. I kind of saw what was going on. I had the headphones connected to the computer, and I just, whatever. I didn't even really care to hear the commentary, and the action overall didn't seem all that great either. Just seemed pretty generic bullshit. King Corbin defeating Roman Reigns in a tables, ladders, and chairs match. Now, the ending of this match had a 4-on-1 attack. Having Baron Corbin beat Roman Reigns for this match was the right thing to do based on the the situation that was going on in the ring at the end. Dolph Ziggler and the Revival were helping King Corbin beat the shit out of Roman Reigns. That made sense for them to do that. If you would have had Roman Reigns come back, beat all 4 guys, and then also defeat Baron Corbin in the end, that would have sucked. Now, the supposed rumor going on is Roman Reigns is supposed to face Bray Wyatt as The Fiend at WrestleMania 36 for the Universal Championship. Now, my problem with that is that means that Roman Reigns is going to win? No, I don't like that idea. I think, number one, it's not really Roman Reigns' time to go ahead and beat Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt has been built up into a super duper character. He's an over character, which I'll get into very soon after I discuss this match with you guys. But bottom line, I mean, Baron Corbin is not what you would call a guy that should have beaten Roman Reigns in this situation. This match should have just been one-on-one. This shouldn't have had any outside interference, but because it's a TLC match, of course, that kind of stuff can happen in these matches. So there's no disqualifications. So I didn't have a problem with the ending because of the fact there was interference involved. So at the end of the day, it was kind of a catch-22. You kind of fucked one way or the other. But I think Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 36 should have a good rivalry matchup built in going into the WrestleMania card. Not him facing for a world championship right now. I think that should be saved for SummerSlam at this point because he needs to beat a big name, first off. And somebody that's, I guess, could take a loss and it wouldn't really bother anyone that he beat them. The Rock being rumored, which I don't think is going to happen. It's wishful thinking. But then again, it's not exactly a match that needs to happen. Bottom line is you would only see The Rock lose. It's a very predictable matchup. And I would love to see, as a person going to see WrestleMania 36, I do realize it's pathetic that they would have The Rock involved with Roman Reigns, and it would definitely kill Roman Reigns' momentum if he was to go into WrestleMania and beat The Rock one-on-one. It would get people really disliking him again. But as a viewer and a paid customer who paid his ticket, which wasn't cheap at all, I would love to see The Rock in person perform in front of me. I've never seen The Rock perform. I never saw wrestling live and in person in the Attitude Era growing up as a kid, so I never got to experience seeing The Rock in person. So that's my main reason why I'd be okay with the match. But as a viewer watching it on TV, I can understand people's feelings on that. I totally agree with it. But as a person just going to see the event, it's fucking cool as shit to see The Rock perform in front of me, which I've never gotten a chance to see live and in person, and to see that would be fucking awesome. Hell, you want to throw Shawn Michaels in the mix? Go ahead. I've never seen him live and in person performing in front of an audience. So, to me, this WrestleMania 36 is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that I may never get again. So I took advantage of getting the tickets as soon as I possibly could, and I'm ready to go to see this event. But this loss, I'll be honest with you, I don't particularly think it's good for his momentum going into WrestleMania. That's all I have to say on that. But then again, I could be wrong about this. They could always have him bounce back and just make him go on a series of winning streaks. I mean, it's not like a big loss. This match was a 3.5 out of 5 stars. A very generic Roman Reigns match. Nothing you haven't seen before. So, I mean, it's nothing horrible. I mean, he did decent in this matchup. Baron Corbin did okay. But bottom line, it wasn't exactly, oh my god, I have to watch it. The match did go over 20 minutes, so they tried to make it seem important when in bottom line it really wasn't. There was nothing important about this match except for the stipulation. So yeah, 3 out of 5 stars is what I'll say about that match. Bray Wyatt versus The Miz, 1-on-1. I will say this. Bray Wyatt can take a fucking ass beating and enjoy it. That's all I'm going to say. One thing I will mention in this that I did not like is that I thought was illogical, honestly. They had Bray Wyatt and The Miz both in the ring. Then the referee presented the WWE Universal Championship to The Miz. He touched it, and the referee looked like he was going to raise the title up in the air as if this was a Universal title match. Which made no fucking sense to me. I thought that was a miscue by the ref. But this matchup was very short, 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Bray Wyatt defeats him with just two maneuvers. The Sister Abigail and actually two Sister Abigails, one on the outside, one inside of the ring, and that was it. From there, after the match was over, Bray Wyatt had The Fiend show up on the Titantron. He goes ahead and says, "Yeah, I'll do it," as if The Fiend is talking to him, which was a bit bizarre as well. So he goes ahead and he grabs this big giant mallet that you would probably see in a fucking horror movie, and he pushes it into the ring. I thought he was going to take it and smash the Miz's skull in with it. Out of nowhere, The Fiend looked like he was coming about because the lights were dimming out and they were making like sound effects like there was a power surge or something going on. And out of nowhere, Daniel Bryan comes up with a hoodie on and he gives him the running knee. And he pops up, he pulls down the hoodie. It's Daniel Bryan, of course. If you thought it was anybody else, you're a fucking idiot. And he had his beard shaved somewhat. I mean, it wasn't like completely gone, but it was trimmed down a lot. And on top of it, he had his hair shaved when he first came into WWE. So that was a bit interesting and a little bit different. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. Bray Wyatt and Miz's match, I'm giving this, I don't even know if I should give it anything. It wasn't really a match at all. I guess I could say it was like 3.5 out of 5 stars because of the amazing acting job Bray Wyatt was giving, not to mention acting like a complete buffoon. I will say this, The Miz came across in this storyline very fucking weak. Number one. Number two, his acting in this was god-awful. Nothing was realistic about it. It seemed so forced and ridiculous, as if he couldn't buy into what was going on. He did not act like a person who was having an issue with what he was going through with Bray Wyatt, with him invading his family. I mean, I understand he was going through the motions, but he just sounded so robotic and just downright ridiculous. I mean, he didn't sound exactly realistic or genuine. He just sounded fucking pathetic. and very heavily over-scripted. He didn't sell me on the idea that he was talking out of his own mouth as if what he would go through or what he would feel like if his family was being invaded by some person intervening with his life. So I think that was kind of lame for The Miz. But Bray Wyatt, he came across looking like $1 million. He could take a beating, and he was downright fucking funny as shit. Not to mention the split personality gimmick that he's got going on with himself and the Fiend grouping going on. I think that's fucking awesome. So kudos to Bray Wyatt and the character gimmick. I like the fact they didn't go with any red lighting or anything. They just made it just white. I think they could stick with that with the Fiend character. All they got to do, if they want to make it look really drastic, instead of red lighting, make the entire arena, except for inside the ring, black. Black out the entire audience and make the inside of the ring with the lighting inside of it. Maybe the outside of the ring as well, so people can see what's going on with them outside of the ring as well. But other than that, the rest of the arena should be blacked out. I think that would be a better idea than having red lighting. I think that's ridiculous. It makes things a little bit more difficult to see. I mean, at first doing it, I thought for the Hell in a Cell that was kind of a okay idea, but with every match you're gonna do with the Fiend, I think that's retarded. I didn't like that idea. So Bobby Lashley versus Rusev one-on-one in a tables match, which was god-awfully bad. The ending was terrible. I text my friend Matthew, and I said to him, after all of this, after all the crap they put Rusev through, with the horrible gimmick they got him doing, this horrible storyline they had him in, this is how you end it? You have Bobby Lashley defeating Rusev? Like, what the fuck? You have this poor guy going through this storyline with his wife, pretending that his wife is cheating on him with Bobby Lashley, and you make Rusev lose? That, to me, is just downright fucking pathetic. What a joke. This company is a fucking joke and a half. For them to do something like that is god-awfully wrong. I mean, that doesn't help Rusev's career any. It doesn't help him gain any kind of momentum. He spent most of his time getting his ass whooped by Bobby Lashley. Why wouldn't he get the last act in here where he beats Bobby Lashley one-on-one in a tables match? It only is right, number one. Number two, he's fucking sitting there watching his wife swapping saliva with another dude in some fucking story. I think it's freaking ridiculous. It was pathetic. The match, I give it a 2.5 out of 5 stars. And then the main event for the women's tag team titles, which I think kind of elevated the women's tag team championship belt a little bit, since it got some kind of decent challengers such as Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Even though they're not really tag team partners, it was kind of a forced idea to throw them in together. Why Becky Lynch had anything to do with Asuka and Kairi Sane, I don't know. Outside of some sort of 2-on-1 matchup that they had, I don't quite understand it. I mean, Becky Lynch really didn't have any kind of interaction with that tag team. Charlotte Flair did, of course, but Becky, I don't understand why she was even included in this, and nor do I really care. Yes, I have caught up with all Raw episodes leading up to this show, so I kind of know what was going on and everything, and to me, it didn't make a whole lot of sense. So that's just me, the way I feel about it. Now, this match was pretty cool. I really didn't have any beef or problems with it, so I'm not going to say anything bad about the matchup. It was okay. I give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. But the opener of this matchup really was the match of the night. With the New Day defending the tag team titles against the Revival, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder. Those are the two guys, the two tag teams. That matchup was the best. That really was the best. If it wasn't for that, Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy would have been the match of the night. I'm giving that my second favorite match of the night, truthfully. The rest of the show, you could take it or leave it. I wouldn't give a flying fuck. But yeah, match of the night is the New Day with Big E and Kofi Kingston defeating the Revival, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder. It just seemed more exciting. The fans were more into it. The crowd was into it. There was a lot of hard-hitting spots. I enjoyed watching that match. The moment of the night was when Daniel Bryan popped out of nowhere and kicked Bray Wyatt's ass. I thought that was pretty fucking cool. And his new look, I gotta say, it's old school Daniel Bryan, and I think that's pretty cool as well. And the spot of the night, I'm gonna give it to Kairi Sane tying up fucking Becky Lynch to a ladder in this tables, ladder, and chairs match for the women's tag team titles. I thought that was fucking innovative. I have never seen that done in a tag team ladder match. It was definitely different and out of the box. So I gotta give it to him. I thought that was a fucking spot of the night type of moment. So, I mean, some might say that should be a moment of the night, maybe, or something like that. But I'm gonna say it's spot of the night because it was in the middle of a match. It wasn't like some kind of oh my god moment, but it was definitely within a match that was innovative. And I gotta say, I actually enjoyed that. It kept Becky Lynch out of the match for a long while. It was a very good, smart strategy within this matchup for the Kabuki Warriors to gain an advantage over Charlotte Flair. And technically, if you really want to get realistic with this and pretend it's real, which it isn't, it's, you know, it's fixed, but even though they're doing the performance and they're roughing up their bodies, realistically, they really got the advantage on Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, giving them the opportunity to really win this thing out of the gate because of what they did. So that made logical sense. So I actually enjoyed that moment right there, that spot in this matchup that I thought was probably one of the better and unique things I have never seen in a WWE match before. So that's pretty much my overall feelings on this show. I don't really have much more to say. It was a okay show, but it wasn't nothing you had to go out of your way and see. So that's just me in a nutshell at this point with this show. So leave your comments and opinions down below. Hit the like button if you like the video, and hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel. And I thank you very much for watching. Have a great night, guys, and I'll see you again soon, wrestling fans.